Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool arcade game repair video for you this evening. We've been trying to clean up our showroom here so we can film videos over here and you can see all of our cool parts and games and stuff. Joe, what have we got here?
We've got a Sega Hang-On.
Sega Hang-On. Now where did we get this?
We've had this a long time. It was in our storage spot. I don't know where we got it actually.
We've had it quite a while. So why is it now in the shop? You've got this other stuff we could be working on, Joe. We've got a Cheyenne we're fixing for a gentleman. We've got jukeboxes. We've got a Miss Pac-Man, a Galaga, got pinballs. Why are we working on the Hang-On? Why now?
Because SMARTYPI, he finally fixed me a Sega Hang-On board.
Our buddy Smarty Marty has made a SMARTYPI board that works in Hang-On.
He did the Afterburner one too.
He did the Afterburner one.
And we bought it and we were so happy with it.
It worked perfect.
That we decided we were going to buy one for our Hang-On.
And you got to get on like a waiting list. But he made it happen. Smarty Marty came through it for us. So thank you, Mart. We appreciate it. Well, we shouldn't say that because it might not work. We haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is what we're starting with, though. We have a dedicated, beautiful, upright Sega Hang-On arcade game. Now, this thing actually has the board in it, but it doesn't work. And we've got another Hang-On board, and it doesn't work. And the truth of the matter is, the things are very complex, and I don't have the ability to repair it.
It's Sega.
Sega's stuff was so complex. They had just a lot going on, and you got to really know your stuff to fix one. You can send them to Ken at I Repair Sega. I'm not sure if he even does Hang-On, but he does a lot of the harder to repair Sega stuff. iRepairSega.com. But I think we're going to SMARTYPI this one and get our board to somebody who can use it that wants to attempt to fix it or that has the ability to fix it. So let's check out what condition it's in, and then we're going to try to get her going and put that board in it. Now, the coin door, Joe, is missing a couple pieces.
I think I got some in the back that I could make that work.
Yeah, I don't think it's no big deal. So there's that. Okay, the control panel is missing one of its its handlebar grips.
I can get that at the bike store.
Yeah, that ain't no big deal. The throttle cable is missing or broken. We ordered one of them. The brake cable or the brake handle is broke, but the cable is still there. We ordered one of the handles. Now, if you are looking for one of these brake handles, it's off of a like an '83 Honda. We figured that out, or was it a Yamaha?
It was a Honda.
Honda. It's like an '83 Honda, somewhere around that vintage, had this exact part. I don't mean similar. I mean they literally bought the brake grip from an '83 Honda and put it on Hang-On. So if you need one, that's where you can get one. The cabinet on this sucker is in really nice shape. There's a few scrapes on it, but the color is still nice. It looks great. Just such a cool design. That's, of course, the helmet, you know. Back of the cabinet, still in good shape. And this side, also still in good shape with some scraping. So we're going into the tomb. Now we had this in at one point. I can't remember if I tried to fix the board or what. I've tried to fix them before. The way these work are there are two CPU boards on the top that handles the video and running the program. And then the two on the bottom, I think one is a sound board and one handles something else. But there's four complex PCBs running this thing. And it's hard to even tell which board has the issue. Joe, I see a 68,000. You were just talking about that.
Buddy, I need that.
Don't steal it. He's not going to. Don't worry about it, people. We were just talking about we needed a 68,000. Anyway, this thing is, like I said, fairly complete though, you know. The power comes in. I see some rust on a couple things, but that's no big deal. It's typical. Got a fuse block here that may need a little attention. This is the transformer. Looks like that's an audio amp. And then the power supply. Sega did all of their 5 volts as white and yellow wires. So I think the white is ground and the yellow is 5. But we better confirm that, Joey, before we roll with it. And then lots of wiring, of course, to make everything work. So have you plugged it in, Joe? This board looks awful dusty.
I did plug it in, and I looked it all over, and I know exactly what's wrong with it.
Oh, okay. So how? So I could, since you've already figured it all out, I can fix it if you'll just tell me what's wrong with it.
All right.
Go ahead.
It's broke.
Here we go again. Same old crap. Joe, I've told you 100 times. What the? When I say what's wrong with it, I do not want you to just start telling me that.
Well, I'm back. Ronnie got pissed off and went home. I don't know why he gets so mad. But I got some nice shirts for sale if anybody's interested in them. Just shoot us an email and let us know what size you need. But anyway, I guess I'm on my own. I guess I gotta try to figure out this hang on. Alright, I checked the cord out. It looked like it was in pretty good shape, so I went ahead and plugged it in. We're getting power into the cabinet. I hear some kind of humming noise. I see that LED on. And it looks like that LED is on the power supply. But I don't hear my monitor. Ronnie's always telling me I got dog ears, because I can usually tell if the monitor's on pretty quick. I can hear the high voltage. So I'm going to undo this and see if I'm getting power up here to the monitor. Getting 105 volts, which Sega's monitors are actually usually about 100 volts, so that's right. So my monitor's broke. See my new multimeter somebody sent me? Oh, nice. Then you could, this actually comes off. That's crazy to me. I haven't figured out how to use it yet though that much. I can do AC and DC and continuity. But the diode check is stuck on where you check caps, which is pretty cool. I always wanted a meter like this that I could check a cap with, but I gotta figure out how to get the diode check to work. I guess I'm gonna have to read some instructions or something somewhere. Well, I kinda got distracted. I guess I need to get this monitor out of there. The monitor's broke. It's getting power up there to it, and it ain't doing, I can't hear it. And there's nothing on the screen. Of course, nothing's going to be on it now because I unplugged the monitor, but you'll have to trust me. I checked earlier and there was nothing on the screen. One thing about this game is you can't get the monitor out from the back. You probably could, but it would be pretty tough. So I'm going to have to take it out through the front. I'm not exactly sure how all this is on there yet. Been a while since I've worked on one of these. I've got a security bit up there. I usually try not to buy Sega games because I just haven't had much luck with them over the years. People really like them. They're super fun games. They were really innovative. But there's only a couple people that even work on Sega stuff. Like Ken at I Repair Sega, he does a great job, but he's in California. I have to ship him all the way out there, and then if something breaks, I got to ship it back to him. And I've pretty much just stayed away from Sega stuff unless I get a real good deal on them. I always say I've had several of them because they've came with other games that I've bought. Take that screw out now. We're getting closer. I thought I had this machine down here at some point, and I couldn't remember what was going on with it, but it doesn't look like I've messed with the monitor at all. I probably just needed some room and took it to storage. We only keep a certain amount of games here, so we have room to work around and film stuff. I guess I didn't mess with it the first time it was here. But now we got that SMARTYPI, so I'm hoping I can get somewhere now. These have little nano monitors in them, which are a little tougher to work on. But hopefully we can get it going. We'll see. I could probably hack in a 7000 or something if I had to. Forgot to unhook the video. Why didn't y'all tell me? Alright, it ought to come out of there now. Well, it don't look all that great, but looks can be deceiving. It's pretty dirty. Doesn't look like anything's ever been done to it. These have a weird frame too. Sega stuff's just different. They have these little nuts here that hold all this on. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this out of there. I'm going to change all the capacitors. I'm not going to change the flyback on these because one, I don't have one, and two, they're usually good. Now that I say that one, that's probably fried, but we're going to change the caps and clean it up a little bit, see if we can get it to do anything. Alright, I got it out of the frame. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. It's obviously never had a cap kit in it. And, you know, it's old. It's over 30 years old, probably. The fuse is actually still good, so that's a good sign. I better check that one in the middle. I didn't check that one. Easy does it. If I only didn't have to hold the camera. Well, that fuse may be bad. So that's a bad sign. I tested this one over here, and it was good. Yeah, that fuse is blown. So that's kind of a good indication my flyback or my hot's bad. It could have been a fluke and something happened with one of the caps, but usually if you've got a bad fuse, you've got a bad hot or a flyback. But anyway, I'm going to start capping it and working my way through it, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, I got all my caps changed. I know you guys are going to give me crap about this, but I just cap right through the dirt. That helps it work. That holds everything together, all that dirt. You can take yours outside and wash it with the water hose if you want. But I don't even have a water hose here at the store. And then I'd have to let it dry for a couple days. I just don't have that kind of time. You guys want to watch the video now. You're just so demanding. You want it now. You don't want it in 2 weeks. So I'm trying to get this fixed so you can see the video. Well, I learned my lesson. I'm just going to have to start recording everything. So I capped the monitor, and I brought it out here and I set it down and I was testing it. I turned it on. Smoke went everywhere. And yeah, the whole place filled up with smoke. And that always happens when you're not recording. So I'm just going to have to just record everything from now on. And remember when that fuse was blown and I said usually, the flyback's bad? Well, there's no real good way to test a flyback. I tested the hot. I tested a bunch of stuff. Everything checked out good. So after the smoke went everywhere, I had to look at the flyback. I thought I put a cap in backwards or something, but I didn't. So the flyback is toast. Luckily in my hoard over here, I had another Nanio monitor, and the flyback looked a lot better on it. So I put it in, and now we're going to go try it again. Alright, take 2.
Hey, I made it just in time for the fireworks show.
I have not turned it back on. This is going live.
It's like the 4th of July. It's going.
So,
we're about to celebrate our country by blowing up a small piece of it.
It may work. It may not. It may spark. It may smoke.
Boom.
I don't know. Boom shakalaka. I don't know.
I'm going to run some volts through it.
Here we go.
It's going to be like Star Wars.
That ain't good.
Dead as crap. Very dead, Joe. Nothing on the screen, Joey. Wait a minute. I lied.
It's broke.
It ain't broke.
Oh shit. Oh, excuse me.
You're not supposed to say that. We're trying to act civilized.
Oh, here I am telling them earlier. Oh, I can hear it when they come on. Oh, I got dog ears.
They all think, Joe,
what?
That Donnie's crazy.
Yeah.
And that I'm not crazy, and that you're real quiet.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. So,
I think we need a little focus. Remember, I changed the flyback.
Looks like you got some little board problems there,
I can't
Joe.
see. Of course I got board problems. It's Sega.
Go ahead and fix that RAM.
All right, well, I'm going to try to adjust it.
You got good color, though. That's a very gray.
All right, here, hold the camera while I adjust the focus.
You can't do gray. You can't do gray without red, green, and blue.
Well, that's not looking.
They can't tell. I can tell, though.
That's not looking too
Ain't
promising.
looking great, people. That focus is not fantastic. And I was just saying I thought I was going to have a nice monitor, but that was when I thought it was a Sanyo.
Yep. It's a Nanio.
Are you sure? I'm not even sure it's a Nanio.
It's a Nanio. It says Nanio on it.
Oh, okay.
You know, that monitor they put in the Sega games.
Yeah. You've been talking trash about Sega the whole time?
Yeah. It's as good as the dang thing's going to get.
You might have a cap on the neck board that does focus sometimes.
There's no caps on the neck board. Well, could be one of them the tantalum ones.
We're gonna have to look. I don't even know if there's schematics of this. Probably the manual's pretty good on these, so maybe. All right. Well, well, well. What have we here?
See, I had to go exploring my hoard, and I had one of these, and the very back, at the very top shelf.
It was in the last shelf.
Whenever
Wait a minute. We stopped looking after that. That might have not even been the last shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I'm back there in that room, I'm in trouble. That's like my last resort.
Yeah, if you're looking back there, it's done everything. It's like St. Jude, all hope is lost. The patron saint of lost causes.
Yeah.
Okay. So tube
this,
swap.
Yeah, looks like somebody's already been working on that, so. And it was back there in the garbage section
said,
almost.
He said somebody. You know he's been working on it.
Well, I didn't want to admit that I worked on it and didn't fix it, okay? Thanks for embarrassing me in front of all these people.
They're probably not even listening.
So
okay.
So maybe the tube's good, though.
We think we have a focus problem. That's got to be, if this is an MTC 2000 like Joey claims, that's got to be a tube or the flyback. And this has a tube and a flyback, so.
Yep. So we're gonna swap the tube first.
We'll swap the tube first. That's the most likely culprit.
Well, I swapped the tube, and it looks pretty much exactly the same, if not worse. So I find it hard to believe I have two tubes broken the same way. So now I'm thinking the flyback's messed up. So I guess I'll change the flyback again for the third time. I'm working with old stuff here, but I did find that other board in the parts room. So now I'm going to take that flyback off there and put it on this board, and we'll see what that does. Alright, so I put my original tube back in that monitor that I found in the back that I worked on years ago. I don't remember what was up with it, but it looked like I had already capped it. But I noticed that the fuse, the same fuse was blown that was blown on my other one originally. So that leads me to believe that the flyback on this one may be bad too. But I kind of want to refresh my memory to see what was going on with that other board. So I put another fuse in it, and we're going to try it again. That's my tube over there that the board works, but the focus isn't very good. So this is the board that I found in the back. It's probably just going to blow the fuse again. Wait a minute, I got to hook up this neck board. Alright. Sounded like something came on. See if anything starts smoking. That other one, when it started smoking, I could turn it off before the hot or anything else blew up. But let's see if we got anything on the screen. Nothing on the screen yet. It didn't blow the fuse. Can't tell if I've got neck glow yet or not. Well, I'm not hearing nothing. So I pretty much worked on this a few years ago, and I ended up giving up on it. I don't remember what was going on with it. But maybe I can use that flyback on the other one. Alright, I think I'll just do that then. I'm going to swap the flyback. You're not going to believe this. So this flyback isn't too easy to change because this cage sits around it. This cage goes around it. And you can't put the cage in after the fact. You've got to put it all together at one time. You've got to put the flyback in and then the cage around it. You can't put the cage in and then the flyback because it won't go over. You can't put the flyback and then the cage. You got to do them both at the same time. Okay? So it's kind of a pain. So I decide I'm going to take the flyback off that one that ain't doing nothing, you know. So I unsolder it, you know. I get it all off there. And I noticed that the fuse is blown on that board too. So the chances of that flyback being good, you know, pretty slim. So I'm like, well, I'm kind of running out of options. I guess I'll go ahead and swap it. So I get this one all the way unsoldered. Remember, I was telling you it was a pain. I've got it all the way off the board. I'm ready to put that board, that flyback in this board. I unsoldered the red wire that goes up to the neck board. Then I'm getting ready to take this off so I can unsolder the focus wire. You know, the one that I'm having all the issues with. And it fell off. Come on now. So, did I do that when I was messing with it? When I took it out of the tube? Did I do it when I was trying to undo the flyback? Or was that messed up the whole time and that's why my focus wouldn't come in? Alright, so do I put this flyback back in and solder this wire on? Or do I put that unknown flyback in there and hope for the best? I think I'm going to have to put this one back in. At least it was working. So I'm going to take all this crap back up just to test it. And if that focus isn't better with this hooked up, I'm going to be pretty pissed off, I think. Might have to take a break from this one after that. So, I guess I'll try that next. What's weird though, the focus was adjusting, it just wasn't coming in good. But maybe it does that when the wire is unhooked. I know this is the focus wire, but you wouldn't think it would adjust at all if the wire wasn't even hooked up. Change of plans. Since it was adjusting a little bit, this thing had to have been hooked up. I must have knocked it loose when I was taking that flyback off there. So I'm going to put that one in and hope for the best. Well, you want the good news or the bad news? Well, I guess as you saw the bad news. Which I pretty much figured that was the case because the fuse was blown, but I had to try, and I didn't have any other flybacks. Are you ready for the good news? You ready? Good news is, I think we found the problem with this monitor and the monitor I had in the back. They're broke. I think if I ordered 2 new flybacks, which I didn't even realize was available till a little while ago. I didn't think they made them. But I think if I order 2 new flybacks, I'll have 2 working monitors. So, that's next. We'll be back in about 2 weeks when we finally get the flybacks, probably. Alright. I think I'm tired of messing around. Tired of playing with this thing. I done spent too much time on it. And I don't really like Segas to begin with. I think it's kind of a mindset. This one's fighting me because it knows that I don't like Sega. And I'm not in the right mindset to be working on it. The whole time I'm thinking, I don't like Sega. I don't like Sega. So it's fighting back. And I was originally going to order, I probably still will order some flybacks for those other monitors. But I've already got this game sold. And they're really good customers of mine. And they live, you know, downtown in a kind of a high rise. So I can't be down there messing with the monitor up in an apartment, you know. So I got to make sure this thing is nice. Got to be top of the line. Everything we sell is top of the line, but I really don't want to put one of them Nano monitors in there. I just don't have very good luck with them. Obviously, I've got 3 of them here that are junk. They're broke. So I actually just fixed this monitor the other day, and I think it'll be really good for this machine. Look what it says there, if you can read my writing. 100% top of the line, capped, nice Vision Pro. I need to start getting another tag. I've been working on this one. It's taken me a lot of time to think of this one. You ready? I can start putting a tag on them and a note, and I could put it's fixed. What do you think? It's fixed. But it mounts different, so I got to try to figure out how I can mount that in the cabinet here. This don't have your typical monitor frame mounts. Notice how the frame's weird on that Nano one. This is more of a standard frame here. So I got to try to figure out how to get that in there where everything looks good, where the monitor shroud and everything's going to look real nice. So that's next. Alright, I got the new monitor put back in there. I don't really like doing that because it's kind of, I don't really feel like I fixed anything. All I did was I swapped the whole entire monitor. That's just called part swapping. I didn't really fix anything. But I do have a good working monitor installed. So we'll see what that does. I'd extend my wires a little bit for the video. I'll zip tie all those back up once I see that it works.
It's broke.
It's coming. Now we have a picture, but it is still broke. But we knew that already. So what's next? I checked the voltage on the power supply, and it's good. But I'm going to change it anyway because it's hissing, and we always put new power supplies in our games anyway. But listen to see if you can hear the hissing sound. Once they do that, they're on their last leg. So I'm going to swap the power supply, put a new one in there. And we're going to put that SMARTYPI in here anyway. So again, we're going to swap some more parts. But that's the way to get it, you know, what we want. The guy wants a multi-game. This is going to be a multi-racing game. And we wanted to test out that SMARTYPI anyway, so we're going to put the SMARTYPI in here and see if we can get it to boot up on the screen and look good. And I got to swap the power supply. So that's the next 2 steps.
We have found the SMARTYPI. Look, Smarty signed it for us. It says all the best. That's like that Paul McCartney Greatest Hits album. Lions. Ho. I think that is like an English speak, like Tally-ho, good gentlemen. Okay, let's open it up. All right, so we open it up. Look at this beautiful board. Now, I have a letter here from Mart. We're going to do the quick start. We're going to go through this a lot quicker than we did last time. You should have seen our video on the afterburner. If you didn't see that, then, you know, you're just going to be all out of shape here. This is what you should have with it. The SMARTYPI Sega Edition PCB. Now, notice he says Sega Edition. That makes me think he's a smart guy. He's probably going to make one for other companies, too. That'll be cool. So this is the board. Right. GPIO to SMARTYPI adapter. 2x PCB extenders, optional for mounting the PCB. That's this bad boy. Makes the board longer, helps you mount it to wherever the mounting holes are on your cage. USB cable, USB A to USB micro B. So this is USB A, and that's micro B. SD card adapter containing a micro SD card, which is ready loaded with the latest Raspberry Pi image. SD card adapter containing a micro SD card. I think he's talking about that one. Yeah, because that's what's going to be... Oh, no. He's not talking about that one. I had the thing. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Wham! Okay, got the micro SD card. Whew. Thought we'd lost it. Heatsink for attaching to your Raspberry Pi. Very nice of them. If you have purchased adapter PCBs for other cabinets or additional items, these will be included in your package. So we did. So we purchased the Hang-On Super Hang-On adapter. So he has designed this to where the only thing he needs to change is the image on here or on here. I can't remember which one. And this little adapter here, which is how you plug in the connectors. So the connector from your Hang-On or Super Hang-On cabinet will plug in right here. And then the other one's around the peripheral. Easy peasy. The only additional component you will require is a Raspberry Pi 4B. SMARTYPI has been tested with 1, 2, 4, and 8 gig RAM versions. There it is. These used to be very hard to get. Not so much anymore. They're starting to make so many of them that you can get them. So we got the 2 gig version. Now, you can get the 4 gig or the 8 gig, but why? It'll run on a 1 gig, and I'm going to leave it attached to it. You know what I mean? So, this is what we're going to use. Now, it tells us, next up, you need to complete assembly of SMARTYPI by connecting your Raspberry Pi, adding the SD card, and fixing the heatsink. Gently remove the GPIO to SMARTYPI adapter. It will lift upwards if you wiggle it back and forth. You think it'll do it with one hand? I think it will. If I didn't just smash the other thing. Yeah, we're good. Came right out. Remove the 4 nuts that are connected to the threaded hex spaces. Yes. Yes. We're doing it, Joey. It's happening right now. We're going to be hanging on here shortly. Just like the Four Seasons. Okay, remove the micro SD card from the adapter you received the SMARTYPI and push it into the Raspberry Pi micro SD slot. If we are looking at the Raspberry Pi from the top side, the green sticker on the SD card will be facing upwards when inserted. Easy peasy. It says, if we're looking at the Raspberry Pi from the top side, the green sticker on the SD card will be facing upwards when inserted. Perfect. Place the Raspberry Pi onto the threads from the hex nuts. You may need to loosen the screws to get it to do it. Yeah, they might not be, you know. They might not be, you know. What do you think, Joe? Is it going to do it?
Going to go.
Will it do it with one hand?
Probably.
Apparently so. Okay, press it down until it's making a snug fit and adjust the pins of both the Pi and the Smarty. If necessary, tighten the nuts on the hex post. Now we can attach the heatsink. The heatsink is larger than the surface we are connecting it to. In our case, the heatsink will sit directly on the CPU, but also cover various other components of the Pi. Remove the tape from the underside of the heatsink and place it over the Pi. It is a snug fit against the GPIO connector and other connectors of the Pi. Press down over the center of the heatsink for 30 seconds, making sure it is sitting flat over the CPU. Very nice. Worked out pretty good. So it covers a bunch of stuff, but it's really only connected to the CPU. I guess there's something up here it's connected to as well. And then we plugged in the USB cable, and of course we put in the GPIO adapter. Okay, so that's that. It says, now we will prepare the configuration file, which sets SMARTYPI to use your cabinet in games. To remove the configuration micro SD card, slide the metal lid upwards. Upwards, you say. Bam. It will move and then fold upwards, releasing the card. Wham. Go gently, the connector is delicate. Well, you know, Smarty, I'm not going to fall for this like I fell for it last time. That thing's already set up how we need it. That's how it was before. What do you think, Joe?
Yep.
I put it in the computer and it just worked fine. So we're just going to go with what's on it for now. What do you think?
Sounds good.
You like that?
Yep.
All right.
All right, we got the board installed. We got it all hooked up. Still got to clean up my wiring a little bit. I had everything kind of long where I replaced that monitor earlier in the video. And you end up with some extra power plugs. That's fine. We'll zip tie all that together and make it all nice. All right, let's turn it on. So we got some lights. Let's see what it does. Looks like it's loading. Looks good to me. So before we can go much further, I've got to tackle all this here. I don't know if I'm going to film any of that because it looks like it's going to be kind of a tedious process. And it might be a little frustrating trying to figure out all this and get everything back where it goes with all these cables and everything. So I'll probably be back once I get all that button back up. I got to paint this. I've got some new grips and stuff I'm going to put on it. A new brake handle. And I got to put all this back together on the door. So it's going to be kind of time consuming. $51,000 quarters so far. Got to change my marquee light too. So I'm gonna do all that, and then we'll be back and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it plays and stuff, hopefully. And I think it's got other games on it too, but I can't really even check any of that until I get all this situated.
All right, folks, so after a lot of work, this is what we ended up with. We had to boil the handlebar covers, slide them on, and then we actually had a new old stock. I don't know if you saw that, but we had a new old stock set of control cables in the inside. So we've got that mounted. The cable was a little long, but you can mount it down like that to where it kind of goes around out of the way. We've got it so it doesn't rub or anything. And then the brake handle, this part was broken, so we fixed it. This is the original grip part. Everything is working properly. We got it all calibrated. Steers very nice. We even had a replacement button we've had laying around forever. And we have got several games now on it. We've got Hang On, Super Hang On, Limited Edition Hang On, Hang On Junior, AB Cop, which is a weird one, and Racing Hero. So I'm going to play Hang On for just a second, and then we'll play, I think maybe we'll play Racing Hero and show you that one. It looks kind of cool. All right, folks, there is Hang On. Now, I am not an expert at Hang On, but we'll try it. Yeah, get you some. The steering's good. Matt was just complaining that you can't take the corners at full speed. They want you to use the brake. And he made the good point that if you're playing a driving game, a racing game, oh, come on, I wrecked. He made the point that if you're playing a racing game, you want to go fast. Like, what was his name? Ricky Bobby? I can't remember. Will Ferrell. I've got the DVD over there somewhere. 276. Oh, you should. I guess you want to see the brake. Brake works great. See the light coming on in the back? I'm hanging on, baby. They did me wrong. You saw that? The guy clipped me. Oh, I didn't make it. Oh, look how close I was. Game over. Okay, so Hang On is working great. Now let's see. I will say, sometimes on these games, the service button is a little touchy. Oh, I forgot I can score, I can... Oh, come on. I'm gonna run out of time. I'm rogue, that's all right. Sometimes this service button in these games, it's so old that it's a little touchy. So sometimes it'll go more than one game. So that's Super Hang On. Should show you the attract mode here in a second. There you go. A little different. Very similar though, of course. And then, are you ready for Limited Edition Hang On? Yeah, that's right. Limited Edition Hang On. You're hanging on, but in a limited way. Looks very similar to Super Hang On. They're basically putting all the games on here that have bike controls. So this is Hang On. I think the one with the, it's like the sit-down ROM or something, slightly different, I think. Maybe the bike looks a little different, I don't know. Okay, moving right along. Here we go. Racing Hero. This is a cool game. It's very cool. Race entries are now being accepted. Insert coin. It may be on free play. No, it's not. You gotta give it a credit. Okay, there we go. So it's kind of like Outrun, but you have a bike. There's the Ferrari or whatever from Outrun. Yeah, I'm on a wheelie. Now what? See the brake light? I guess we're in Vegas because of the neon lights. I could have went left or I could have went right, but I went right into the back of it. As you can see, this board works great. Those damn SMARTYPI boards are awesome. I mean, awesome. I think I've done, I don't know if I've done 2 or 3 of them now. We did the Afterburner one, it worked great. Oh, come on. And this hang-on one works awesome. So if you've got a hang-on and your board sucks, I can't recommend the SMARTYPI board any harder. It's awesome for what it is, you know. Now, if you're into the original board and you would rather keep the original hardware and go through the trouble to have it repaired and all that, I understand. This is a cool game. Oh, somehow I clipped the guy. Ooh, saved by the break. Whoa! Woo, Lordy! France or Brazil? What a cool game. Ooh. Saved by the break. A lot of traffic. Don't they know we got a bike race we're doing? Woo, Lordy. I'm sure it gets much tougher once you get farther up. Not gonna make it, folks. Over in Rio, did you see the statue? All right. Okay, so the last game, if we can get it to stop on it, is called, oh no, okay, so we got Hang On Junior, that's different. Forgot about that one. And then the last one is, if it's on here, AB Cop. Air bike. So we'll play it for a second. Great music. Oh no, there's an armed robbery at the First National Bank. What do you do? don't know. I don't really know. Seems like if I double the throttle, you jump up in the air or something. See how it says jump? I don't know. I'm hitting the brake. It's not doing anything, so I don't know what you're really supposed to do here. When I'm hitting the gas double, it does seem like it's hurting him. Yeah! So there you go, folks. Very cool. So that is the SMARTYPI board installed in a hang-on. Hope you enjoyed it. If you need one, get in touch with Mr. SMARTYPI. Smarty Marty. What a great man. Alright, so leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Did you ever play either of these strange games that are now included on this? If you did, let us know what you think. And make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film all this for you. We didn't have to do all that. We will see you on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you like the SMARTYPI that we put in this hang-on, like I said, we did one in an afterburner as well. So if you want to see that video, I'll put it up right here for you to check out. So check it out, and we will see you on the next one. Have a good evening.